cuties, welcome to episode 2, season 2 of Relationship to Self. I'm Naisha, and here I am back with another super cool episode that you guys are going to love. So, this episode is going to be about some self care practices. Basically, let's talk some self care. Now, a lot of us know what self care means, or a lot of us know that people romanticize self care a lot nowadays, especially because there is so much hustle around us that we have actually started to incorporate self care in our routine. So, here are some self care practices that you can incorporate in your daily routine so that you don't feel tired or you don't feel like you're demotivated and you're actually feeling a lot lighter and happier when you do these self care practices. Also, if you're listening to this on Spotify or you're my Spotify listener, then make sure to check out my YouTube channel for the video format of this episode. I recently started this from the episode 1 of season 2. And if you already know it, then well, make sure to listen to both. And you can listen to the audio format on the go whenever you're having your break time during the day. And yeah, the video format is always available for you to check out. Now, coming to what we have to talk about in this episode, basically some practices that you can incorporate in your daily routine that will make you feel a little lighter, happier, and will keep you in check and it will keep you connected to your inner self. Now, a lot of us think that self care is about how we look and how we appear to other people and how people are going to think about us or how they're going to feel about us. No, self care is about how you feel about yourself. It's about how your inner child feels with you and how connected you feel with yourself. It is not about others perceiving you, it is about your own perception about your own self. So, first, we're going to talk about the physical practices that you can incorporate so that you feel better, not only mentally but also physically. Now, a lot of us care about how we appear to other people, right? And that is completely fine. Everybody does it. But sometimes you should care about how your body is feeling about it. Now, whenever we feel very low in energy, there is always a sign that our body is sending to us, and we are supposed to react or listen to what our body is trying to tell us. If your body feels extremely drained and tired, that means you're overworking yourself, right? We all have that common knowledge about our body. So, whenever our body is trying to tell us something, we should listen to it instead of ignoring it and working 24/7 and overworking and, just trying to get ahead of our goals, because then our body will not support us, and that is really bad because then our health goes down the graph, and we don't want that. We need to be connected with our body as well, and not ignore the signs it is trying to tell us. So whenever your body is trying to tell you something, please respond to it accordingly and don't ignore the signs, because when it is telling you that, hey, I'm tired, please give me a break, give yourself that damn break. In today's time, we all have so much to do on a daily basis, right? But if we don't listen to our body or we don't give that amount of care and rest to our own body, it will not work in our favor. And that is really bad, right? I mean, then we feel really tired and then suddenly we feel like we're in a rut. So instead of ignoring the signs that your body is trying to give out to you, please respond to it accordingly. And if it is telling you to give it a rest, give it a rest. Don't work out that day, or don't work that day, or just don't overwork that day. Do whatever you feel like your body needs, but listen to what it is trying to tell you. Now, coming to the second point of the physical part of our self care routines, the sleep part. Now, a lot of us flex a lot about pulling an all nighter, and you know what? I pulled an all nighter, I studied all night, or I did work all night, and I feel really tired now. Of course, you would, right? If you don't get enough sleep, you would be really, you know, in a messed up state when you wake up in the morning, or if you don't sleep at all. It is actually not a flex that you don't get enough sleep. It is really bad. And even though you think that it is a flex and you're really hardworking and all of that, it is not. And you're not hardworking. You are literally ruining your own state of mind and your own physical health by not sleeping. When you sleep, you take your mind off things. You give your body the relaxation it needs after a whole busy day, right? And if you don't get enough sleep, now we all know that 8 hours is the minimum amount of sleep that we are all supposed to get, right? So please make sure that you're sleeping for 8 hours or 7 to 8 hours, and don't overwork yourself and pulling an all-nighter and staying up all night, and you know it is really not a flex. Also, since we all care so much about what other people are feeling about us and how we are looking to other people, sleeping enough gives you the glow you need on your face. How people say that being happy or smiling gives you a glow on your face, sleeping also does that. So if you think that pulling an all-nighter will help you glow up, it will literally not. You will have dark circles, you will feel really sluggish and lazy when you wake up the next day, and you will be very demotivated to carry out any task that you've planned. So instead of doing all of that and causing a disadvantage to your own self and your own schedule, you should actually get enough sleep and get that glow on your face. Point number three, and that is staying physically active. Now, I'm not talking about really heavy workouts because a lot of us don't have that much energy. And since we all have so much to do every single day, we cannot really take out that much amount of time to, set a heavy training workout in our schedule. So, this is a completely personal take up. Now, if you think that you have 1 or 2 hours to spend, and you can give 1 or 2 hours to your working out routine, then you should definitely set a good amount of workout time and according to your energy. However, if you feel like you don't have enough time, or if you feel like you don't have enough energy to do a particular workout on a particular day, you can simply set a secondary workout. That means going for a hot girl walk, or going for a jog, or doing treadmill for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. It is completely personal. However, just make sure that you're staying physically active so that your body doesn't feel tired all the time, because this is another thing that makes you feel really tired. Even though you've done almost no amount of work that day, you will still feel tired because your body is not feeling active. So instead of feeling really lazy, you should actually stay physically active, which will help you to stay on top of your task as well. So what I do on days when I'm really busy and my hectic schedule is going on, or I have shoots or too much studies, and I'm lacking behind in my task, what I do is I simply go for a walk every single day for an hour. And no matter what, okay, like even if I have shoots, even if I have to go out, it is literally non-negotiable in my daily routine. And if someday I have to skip my walking timing, then what I do is I do a light workout, a 30-minute workout at home. You can also search up on YouTube. We have literally the whole internet, and we can use it to our benefit. So instead of spending your day on social media and just rotting in your bed, you should search such meaningful things that will actually benefit your body and yourself. Point number four, and that is drinking enough water and keeping yourself extremely hydrated. Now, this comes from a person who herself is not that hydrated every single day, because I just forget. I mean, if I'm like, in a really bad mood, or if I'm lacking behind in my task, or if I have a busy day going on, I will forget to keep myself hydrated, which is, I know, a very bad thing. I'm learning, and I'm still trying to improve that about myself. So if you are also my kind of person who forgets to keep herself or himself hydrated, please make sure that you have some sort of water tracker app on your phone, because obviously we use phones every single day and almost all day. Most of our work is done from our phone, right? And since we use it so much, maybe we should actually use it in our favor. So I have a water tracker app on my phone that basically tells me about how much water I'm drinking and how much I should drink on a daily basis. So you can also download an app or keep a physical water tracker if you have a journal, or if you have a separate notebook for all of that self care part. I usually wanted to start a journal, but I couldn't because I don't have enough time to actually sit down and physically write. And sometimes I don't have the energy also. But on phone, I have my notes app and I just have to type. So yeah, it's pretty easier, and that's what I do. That's how I keep track of how much water I'm drinking and where I'm lacking behind in that. And yeah, just make sure that you have your water bottle next to you all the times, because when we're dehydrated, we feel really low in energy. We feel like everything is just becoming a burden. And I don't know how, but yeah, I do feel like this on a daily basis because, as I said, I'm not really the kind of person to be very hydrated all day, every day. And, you know, in between, I get those phases when I'm really hydrated and I'm, taking care of my water intake, but sometimes I do forget because of my schedule. So, yeah, I have my reminders and water tracker app to keep me in check, and you should too. Coming to the fifth point, which is having a balanced diet. Now, a lot of people come up on YouTube and go like, you're supposed to eat healthy 24/7, and how are you having junk food? Ew, that is not healthy at all. Please don't listen to such people, because if we don't have junk food, we are literally going to starve our soul from the comfort that we are supposed to get from having food. Now, a lot of people find comfort in having mostly junk food. Obviously, nobody gets happy when they eat salads all the time. Like, sometimes it's fine, but like all the time, no, girl. So what I do is, whenever I have weekend coming closer, I plan my days in such a way that I can incorporate at least one type of junk food, so that I don't feel like I'm just constantly on this diet routine and I'm starving my body of the comfort it needs. So my comfort food is French fries. I bet you guys know that if you know me for a while now, and if you've been following me on my social media platforms. So whenever I want to eat French fries, what I do is, a week before and a week throughout, I will only have healthy food and not cheat on my diet routine. I don't have a routine as such, but I usually try to incorporate healthy foods like we all do. I don't think there is any necessity to write down your food every single time. That is usually not my cup of tea. So what I do is, I just tell my mom to make something very healthy for me instead of adding too much of oil or too much of calories. Just make something simple and healthy. So instead of starving yourself of the comfort food that you really, really need in such hectic routines, then make sure that you're having healthy as well as junk, and just know how to balance it, and we're good to go. The next point is hygiene. Now, this is super important because a lot of us really don't know how to keep ourselves clean and hygienic, because I've seen people not really do that, and it gives me the ick. Like, literally, I will not be able to be around you comfortably if you're not hygienic, because I'm just not that type of person. I like to keep myself clean and hygienic. So please make sure that you are doing that too, because you really matter to a lot of people and you give out a lot of impressions to other people around you. And if you yourself are not clean enough, then nobody is going to be around you, and nobody is going to be comfortable around you. So instead of making other people and your own body feel like that, please make sure that you are really incorporating those hygiene routines into your schedule, so that you find home in yourself and your body doesn't want to run away from it. Keeping yourself hygienic does not always mean that always having the perfect hair and the perfect look and the perfect outfit. No, hygienic also means that you keep your surroundings clean, right? Like, if you sleep in your room is clean and it is not messed up or cluttered like your head. Just kidding, but please make sure that your room is always tidied up, because the more we surround ourselves in a clean space, the more motivated we feel to work towards our goals, and the more we like to be around that surrounding, right? Like, would you like to be around a place that really stinks? No. Would you like to be around a place that is really messed up and everything is just here and there and haywire? No. So, why would you make your own body feel like that, right? So, instead of making your body feel discomfort inside your own self, the second last point of the physical part of self care is getting enough sunlight. Now, the afternoon sunlight is usually a little more harsher, right, than the morning one. So, as soon as you wake up, what I personally do is, I either sit near my window where there is enough sunlight coming in, or I usually go down just to get a little boost of sunlight. Because when you actually, surround yourself in the sunlight, you feel a little fresh. You feel like, okay, the day has actually started, and the morning sunlight is really important to take in because it helps to start your day better, in a better mood and feeling more energetic. And lastly, for the physical part, please get enough rest. Now, this is again very important. So, I like to emphasize on the topic of getting enough rest because we all know how to work, right? We all know how to set tasks, we all know how to work towards our goals, but what we usually forget nowadays is getting enough rest, and that is really bad, like really, really bad. Now, a lot of the days when I overwork myself, suddenly for 2 weeks, I cannot find the motivation to work. Like, cannot find the motivation to work, no matter how much I'm scrolling through Pinterest to find the motivation, or I'm scrolling through social media accounts that give me inspiration. I will literally do anything to find motivation, but I simply cannot get the task done. And this is because when I overwork myself, I am actually forcing my body and mind to stay in one place and complete the task, which is really not good, because forcing is never a good thing, right? Whether you do it to yourself or some other person. So whenever we force ourselves to get tasks done and get on top of our goals, we are actually running away from our own body and our own soul, and telling our body and soul to not support us in everyday routines. So instead of doing all of that and again causing a disadvantage to yourself, please make sure you get enough rest and break times whenever you need it, because that is also an essential part apart from setting goals and achieving them. And now we come to the most important part of our life, or the most important aspect about ourselves, which is our emotional health. Now, emotional health is always, I consider it more important than physical health most of the times, because if we don't feel good, we will never look good, right? That is the basic theory of being emotionally and physically healthy, because just looking good really does not make you feel good, and that is really visible on your face. When you're not feeling good, it is actually visible on your face, and then you start feeling like you're not looking good and all of that. So make sure that you're emotionally in touch with yourself and your soul. And here are some practices that I'm going to suggest on how you can stay emotionally connected to yourself. The first one is self reflection. Now, this could be in any form. If you have a journal, or if you're that type of person to write things down physically, then you can simply go on about your day, reflect on your day and how your week is going and how you're feeling. Mostly focus on the feeling part instead of what you could not achieve, because as always we love to focus on the negative aspects, but we always forget to focus on how we are feeling and what the positive aspects are. So instead of telling or writing it down that you did not achieve the particular task, or you could not do this or could not do that, actually ask yourself, how am I feeling today? How did my week go? Am I feeling light, or am I feeling overwhelmed? Ask all of these questions instead of focusing on the negative parts. Now, if you're not the type of person to write everything down physically, then obviously we all know the holy grail of our phone, or at least my phone, is my notes app. It literally knows everything about me. I think I said the same dialogue in episode 1 as well. Please ignore. Anyways, so in my notes app, what I usually do is when I feel really overwhelmed and I feel like I really need to get my emotions out, but I cannot cry because maybe I'm out, or maybe somebody's there in front of me, or anything like that, what I do is I simply open my phone and I open my notes app and I start writing. I start typing everything down. So I will, type everything, like how I'm feeling, why am I feeling like that, what is making me feel whatever I'm feeling, and all of those questions basically. So this helps me to keep in touch with my soul, and to have a regular check-in with my mind and how my mental state is and how I'm feeling on days where I really don't have the time to physically write everything down. The next is doing what you love and incorporating those things in your everyday routine, so that you don't feel like your life is always about work and studies and achieving your goals and achieving your dreams, because it really is not. Everybody deserves a little boost of happiness, and this you can do by incorporating the things that you love. Now, this could be anything. Like, I have a bunch of things that make me feel really light and happy in my daily routine. Whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed or I'm feeling like I need a break, I do these things. And yeah, you can also ask yourself what you love to do and what makes you feel like you're in touch with yourself. And maybe it could be giving yourself a day off, maybe taking out a self-care Sunday where you do all your skincare and you take your everything shower, and you buy yourself flowers, or you go out with yourself, basically on a solo date, or you can go out with a friend and basically doing anything that you love and that will make you feel like, okay, this is actually my break day. Third point is that having a little easier schedule. Now, whenever we sit down to write our task, now what we do most of the times is that we really like to overwork ourselves, right? And then we forget that we are actually not doing favors for ourselves, but only the work task that we're doing. So instead of making a really busy and really tiring schedule for your own self, please make sure that you are actually giving yourself time, and don't rush into your task. Just make a schedule that suits you. It's again a personal thing, so make sure that you know yourself enough, that you know when your energy levels are high, when your energy levels are low, and make a schedule that will allow you to breathe, so that you don't feel like your life is all about working and achieving your goals and working towards your life and everything. Because yeah, as I said, it is not. The next is having healthy coping skills. So coping skills is basically when you feel emotionally tired, or you feel like you're really overworking, or you're just overwhelmed with everything that is going on. You need to have emotionally healthy coping skills. Now, why I'm emphasizing on the word healthy is because a lot of us don't really have healthy coping skills. We really choose to be who we are, and we choose to go towards the unhealthy path, which is not right. So the healthy coping skills can be taking yourself out alone, so that you get time to be with yourself and to process your thoughts and to let go of those thoughts if they're negative. And you can people watch, you can get yourself coffee, you can read a book, or you can go for a hot girl walk or anything like that. This basically helps us to cope up with our everyday life when we are already so busy and so tired, and just working and working. This really helps to calm down and to reconnect and to get a fresh start towards our week. The next is practicing deep breathing. This I usually do whenever I feel like I'm about to cry, or I feel like I'm getting too panicked about a particular situation or a particular task. What I do is I sit down, I have water, and I take a few deep breaths, and I remind myself that everything's going to be fine, and I'm just feeling like this maybe for now, but I will feel okay after a while. The next is write your thoughts down. Now, this is again either physical, or you can do it in your notes app as well. However, if you feel like, again, this is a personal thing, if you feel like you're more of a write down person, then write your thoughts down, how you're feeling, and basically, again, this is a form of self reflection. The next is talk to the people you love. Now, we are actually so worked up and so focused on our everyday tasks that we forget that we have people who love us, and we love the people in our lives. So instead of not checking in with them, or not texting them, or not giving them a call, they're literally a call away. Give them a call, talk to them, refresh your mind, and yeah, just speak to them about how you're feeling and how your days are going and what you guys are doing. Just chit chat. The next is reconnecting with yourself. Now, I gave a lot of examples on how to reconnect with yourself, right? Physically as well as emotionally. However, I think reconnecting with yourself also looks like going for a walk and only thinking. Like a lot of people, when they go for a walk, they listen to music, like me, and it is completely fine. It is really like, good to actually boost up your mood. But however, sometimes when we feel really overwhelmed with our emotions, instead of listening to music and thinking that we're distracting our mind when we're actually not, because a lot of people think that listening to music distracts them, but that is just temporary, and we don't want temporary solutions. And then the emotions come out on some other day when we feel like, okay, it's going to come, and then we start crying. So instead of finding temporary solutions to calm yourself down, you should actually go for a walk, or just sit down with yourself and allow those thoughts to come, because at the end of the day, the thoughts are really not in our control, not always. So whenever we feel like we're overthinking, sit down with yourself, let those thoughts come, let yourself feel those feelings, and then eventually you will let go and you will feel a lot better the next day. Trust me, I have experienced this a lot of times. whenever I ignore my thoughts or feelings, I usually start feeling really tired and overwhelmed. And then I feel like, nah, I don't want to do anything. But whenever I let my thoughts come and I feel the feelings and, you know, just sit down with myself and let my brain do the work, then it actually helps me feel a lot better and a lot lighter the next day. You don't have to be strong 24/7. That is literally not human. Sometimes it's okay to cry those feelings out. It's okay to feel those feelings and experience such things, because nowadays people really make a big deal when somebody starts crying or when somebody is feeling really tired mentally. Please be the type of person who makes others and yourself feel like home. And yeah, just allow yourself to cry those feelings. It's completely fine and there is no big deal about it. Next is being kind to yourself. Now this matters a lot because a lot of us have been doing a lot of negative self talk where we keep saying things like, oh, I'm so ugly, or I'm so insecure, or why am I looking like this, or why is my body like that. No, just be kind to yourself instead of feeling more insecure and, manifesting those insecurities in your life by constantly saying all of this to yourself. Just be kind and positive about yourself, because you got you all day, every day, every second of your life. Nobody else is as permanent as you are in your own life. And the more you start hating yourself and the more you do those negative self talks, the more you're manifesting the negativity in your life. So always be kind to yourself, and whenever you feel like you're overthinking and you feel like you really need to stop thinking how insecure you are or how ugly you are, you're not, please. But anyways, if you do think like that, I can't help it. All I can do is try to help you. And yeah, what you can do is in your control. So stop thinking that, stop telling that to yourself or any other friend in your life, and just start working towards it. If you feel like you're not good enough because of how your body is, work out. Literally, go for walks, work out, go for jogs. But don't tell all of this to yourself, because how you talk about yourself, to yourself, and for yourself, these three things are really important. And instead of blaming and guilt trapping yourself, make sure that you feel good about yourself, even if somebody else doesn't. And lastly, for the emotional part of self care, we come to the topic of treating yourself. Now, I do not want any comments about, treating yourself always means about buying yourself things, and it's always materialistic. It is really not. If you feel like ice cream is your comfort food, treat yourself an ice cream. For some time, it is completely fine. You're treating yourself and it is needed. You cannot be productive, or you cannot always stick to your routine or the habits you set for yourself. Sometimes it's okay to cheat on them, and it's okay to, get that boost of energy or boost of comfort that you need. So, whenever you feel like you need to treat yourself, it can be in any form. It can be buying your favorite food, it can be giving yourself days off, or it can be giving yourself one day off to do anything you want, and that can be watching Netflix all day. It can be rotting in bed all day. It can be crying all day. Literally, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you can cry as much as you want. It can also be going out with your friends, or going alone, or anything. Basically, do anything that you like, treat yourself with it. You can even buy yourself coffee, you can buy yourself a matcha, or you can make something at home, try a new recipe. Do anything that makes you feel happy, and do anything that makes you feel like you're treating yourself. And if it includes materialistic things also, it is completely fine. You don't have to always worry about savings and everything. You can actually go out, go for some shopping, buy yourself things that you like. I hope you guys liked this episode. I'm going to be seeing you in the next one, that is the third episode of season 2. Before you leave, please make sure that you check my description box for all the links, like my social media, my book that you can buy from Amazon or Flipkart, or my recent music album that got released. And yeah, it is super exciting and the songs are amazing. So basically, make sure to check the description box. And yeah, for any updates, I'll be updating you guys from my podcast account on Instagram. So make sure that you click the link in the description and follow the account if you haven't. And yeah, I hope you guys like this episode. Please take care of yourself. I'm so proud of you and I love you. And I'm going to see you next week, same time. Bye.